Om Sahanavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Adharya pratibodhitam bhagavata Narayana swayam vyasena kratitam puranamunina madhye mahabharatam advaitamritavarshini bhagavati Ashtadashatyayini Ambatvamanusandadhami Bhagavad-gite Bhavatveshini Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Sunmanti Divyaistavai Devai Sangapadakramopanishadai Gayanti Yam Samaga Jnanavastita Tadgatena Manasa Ashyanti Yam Yoginaha Yasyam Nam Navisusura Suragana Devaya Tasmai Namaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha. Ashocyananvashocasvam Ashocyananvashocasvam Prajñavadamscha bhashase Prajñavadamscha bhashase Gatasu nagatasuscha Gatasu nagatasuscha Nanushocanti panditaha Nanushocanti panditaha Natvevaham jatu nasam Natvevaham jatu nasam. Again, Natvevaham, that anuswara becomes the savarna of the next letter, which is ja, so it becomes nya, that nasal. So you can save some time, you don't have to close your mouth and hum and then ja, get again into the palatal mode. Okay? Natvevaham jatu nasam Natvevaham jatu nasam Natvanneme janadhipaha Natvanneme janadhipaha Nachaiva na bhavishyamaha Nachaiva na bhavishyamaha Sarve vayamatah param Sarve vayamatah param Dehinosmin yatha dehe Dehinosmin yatha dehe Kaumaram yauvananjara Kaumaram yauvanam jara. Many of you are saying yauvanam Yauvanam Au, yeah. Okay? And here we have another option. You can say Kaumaram yauvananjara or Kaumarai yauvananjara. Kaumaram yauvananjara. Again it's yau. Kaumaram yauvananjara. Kaumaram yauvananjara.
Dhirastatra na muhyati.
Yeah, the hakara, I have to hear properly. Muhyati. Mushyati.
Muhyati.
Like that. Very good. Matra sparshastu kaunteya.
Matra sparshastu kaunteya.
Shitoshna sukha dukkhadah.
Shitoshna sukha dukkhadah.
Agama payino nityaha.
Agama payino nityaha.
Sthitiksha bharata.
Tam sthitiksha bharata.
Yam hinam vyathayantyete.
Yam hinam vyathayantyete.
Purusham purusharshambha.
Purusham purusharshava.
Samadukha sukham dhiram.
Samadukha sukham dhiram.
Sukham dhiram.
Sukham dhiram.
Somritatvaya kalpate.
Somritatvaya kalpate.
Nasato vidyate bhavaha.
Nasato vidyate bhavaha.
Nabhavo vidyate satah.
Nabhavo vidyate satah.
Ubhayorapi drishtontah.
Ubhayorapi drishtontah.
Anayostattvadarshibihi.
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 My chanting book was a small error, typo. We have covered a lot of ground in discussing the source of sorrow. The source of sorrow cannot be Atma. Why? Shastra says so. And also I want to always be happy. And that's what I want. And I can't want what I don't know. If I don't know, I can't want something that I don't know. And plus, the Shastra as the Pramana says, I am of the nature of Ananda. And so, Atma cannot be a source of sorrow. Anatma also cannot be a source of sorrow. Why? Because, as we are going to find out, it is Mithya. It is a dependent reality. And we saw two other reasons. It's changing, it's finite, it is always coming to an end. So, if we keep on mourning things that are always changing and coming to an end, that's not the problem with the things, that's the problem with us. Right? So therefore the teaching begins on a negative note. Ashocya, na shocya. Then I asked, left with a question. Is that an inauspicious note to begin the Bhagavad Gita and the teaching? Why not say something auspicious? Why start with the negative particle, which usually is not done? Here it is allowed because the Shastra itself is what is called Nivrityatmakam Shastra. A Shastra that is asking you to depart from business as usual, asking you to look at things differently, asking you to retreat rather than advance. The first portion of the Veda is Pravrityatmakam. Atmakam means in the form of pravritti. Pravritti means running towards. And the quintessential example is what? The silver dollar which is on the beach. New shiny silver dollar, big piece of silver. Run to it and then shell. You become a shell of disappointment after seeing that shell, after running so far. So that which makes you run towards something is called nivritti. That which makes you turn away, pravritti. That which makes you turn away is nivritti. So here, the prakriya itself is that of negation as much as it is in the sense of affirming who you are, who the I is. The I being self-evident. I know I am. Does not need to be taught because I already know I am. And I know sorrow is a imposter. Sorrow is an aberration. Sorrow should not be there. Anxiety should not be there. Every person knows. Why even people who don't have Vedanta, who don't know me for Vedanta, know I'm not supposed to be shy. I'm not supposed to be anxious. Even pharmaceutical companies know, even though they have not studied Vedanta at all. They know because there are more and more drugs, antidepressant, anti-anxiety. Why? Depression is not your nature. Even the pharmaceutical companies, drug companies know this. So therefore, this is not something to be, this can be affirmed, but the main problem here is the aviveka, the non-discrimination between what is Atma and what is Anatma. There is a mix-up. And how can there be a mix-up, one can ask? In fact, there is no reason for there to be a mix-up. What is Atma? Never born, never subject to death, always Ananda, eternal nature of light, I, all knowledge, source of all existence, consciousness itself, limitless, Purna, everything I want to be. What is Anatma? Dependent, Atma, independent, Atma, unchanging, Anatma, changing. Atma never comes to an end, Anatma always coming to an end. Atma not subject to birth and death, Anatma subject to birth and death constantly. So there is nothing in common. How on earth can there be a mix-up? How on earth can there be a mix-up? But still there is a mix-up. This body is considered to be I. First my body, then me body. This is me. The cause for this mix-up is what? Ajnana. Everything we can safely say Ajnana. Very safe answer, you will seldom be wrong. If the question is asked, what is the cause of this? Ajnana. Avidya. Trace it back to avidya. So that's why there is a mistake. And the mistake is of two kinds. Two kinds of mistakes. The first kind of mistake is taking Anatma to be Atma. Anatmani Atma Adhyasa. Adhyasa, mistake, projection. Upon everything that is finite, I project the infinite. That's why I want everything to be permanent, well, all the time. Somebody says, I got a job. And what's the question? Is it permanent? No, I'm on probation 6 more months. After that, we'll see. I'm shifting to a new house. Is it yours? Is it really yours? Yes, it is mine. My house. It is forever mine. But then actually you don't own it at all. Bank owns it. You have to keep paying money and interest to the bank every month. After 30 years, then perhaps you own it. So, like this, in everything that is anatma, I mistake it to be atma. I want to drag it and make the finite infinite. Half the life is gone in that. I want to make the body infinite. I want to make the mind infinite. Not just my own body, but the body of all the loved ones in my life. I want them to keep on eating well, doing exercise, doing this, doing that, monitoring their heart rate, all these things. This is called Anatmani Atma Adhyasa. First mistake. And the second mistake, you just reverse it. Atmani Anatma Adhyasa. That means, in the I that is free of death, free of birth, I project a finitude. In the infinite I mistake for it to be time bound. I mistake it to be time bound. I mistake it to be coming to an end all the time. So the Atma is free of death. Atma is free of disease. Yet what do people say? I am sick. I am a rogi. Atma is free of doing. Yet what do we say? I did it. I made it. And if the doership is very strong, in America they say, I killed it. One young teenager came to me and said, I asked, he had taken some exam. I said, how did you do in your exam? Swamiji, I killed it. I got scared. I looked at his mother. No, he means he did very well. It's all about I. The I is mistaken for what it is not, and the I is not understood and assimilated for what it is. That understanding is not there. This mix-up is what the cause of sorrow, and it is in turn caused by ajnana. So ajnana, another name for ajnana is adhyasa. Two kinds of adhyasa are talked about in the opening bhashya of the Brahma Sutra by Adi Shankara. Ubodghata bhashya, meaning introductory bhashya. And therefore, Lord Krishna says, you are grieving over that which deserves no grief. From any point of view, from a practical person's point of view, let's say he or she is not a Vedika at all, just a person, regular person, does not believe in Veda, afterlife, before life, karma, papa, punya, nothing. All they know is okay. And even they will understand that something that is keeping on changing, there is no point in crying over it. Things which are subject to change will continue to change. Things that are born will have to die. Things that are in a flux will constantly be in a flux. So objectivity means, looking at them objectively means accepting those changes. Because what else are you able to do? If you can do something, please do something. If you can invent an elixir of life and make people be alive and be young forever, do that. Oh, I don't think I can do that. Nobody has succeeded even before me. All the alchemists from in the medieval ages went mad trying to have such an elixir. Okay, then keep quiet and go with the flow. From the pragmatic standpoint, again, death is not the cause of sorrow. From a Vedika standpoint, also death is not a cause for sorrow. Why? Because we have next life. Better luck next time. Nothing comes to an end. Even in this universe, nothing comes to an end. What to talk of the conscious being? Nothing at all comes to an end. Again, why grief? Objectively, there is no grief. There is no cause for grief. Death is not the cause for grief. And from the Vedanta standpoint also, there is no grief because centered on the Atma, there is no grief. Centered on Anatma also there cannot be any grief. Why? Because it is Anatma, Jada, inert, insentient. Anatma cannot cause sorrow to Atma. Anatma means not self, not I. Can the not I cause sorrow to I? No. Why? Because they belong to two different orders of reality. You went for a walk on the bank of the Ganga on a sunny day. Your shadow fell in the river. Do you need a towel to dry off? Huh? That's exactly what the Atma and Anatma is. Exactly how it is. You don't say, I better get a towel, I will catch a cold. My shadow fell in the river. Shadow is what you cast. It is dependent upon you. It is dependent upon your body. It is dependent upon the light that casts it. Shadow is not walking away by itself. Neither is the shadow coming back and boom, scaring you. It doesn't have. It has no effect at all. Similarly, Anatma cannot cause sorrow to Atma because they belong to two different orders of reality. One is Sat. What is Sat? Anatma, correct? Am I right? No. Atma is Sat. That means the source of all existence. Anatma is Mithya. In the Bhagavad Gita here, in this particular context, it is going to be used by, the Mithya is going to be replaced by the word Asat. We'll see that. So Mithya has to be understood properly. Satyam has to be understood properly. Even though we have been defining Mithya up till now as though, this as though cannot be understood as though. If I ask you, do you understand as though? At that time I don't want to hear from you, yeah, I understand it as though. No, you have to understand that properly. As though has to be properly understood. And we have been defining it as though. That which shines as though real. One definition of Mithya we have already seen, in fact both we have seen, but here we will see it properly in this context, so there is no more confusion. The first definition of Mithya is Sad Asadbhyam Anirvachyam. Anirvachyam means you are speechless, cannot categorically say whether, where is our friend here, the pot, the price, yeah, small one, whether the pot exists or not. Does the pot exist? You have to say yes. Why? Because you see it here. You see it in my hand. So you say yes, I can see the pot, it exists. But does it exist independently? No. The weight of pot, weight of clay, color of pot, color of clay, smell of pot, smell of clay. Whole pot is nothing but clay. The pot is borrowing its existence from clay. Pot and clay, are they synonyms?
No.
No, they are not synonyms at all. One is the cause, one is caused. They have a karya and karya, pot, karana, clay. Karana, cause, karya, effect. This is how it is. So the pot has a dependent reality. You say yes, it exists, but it does not exist independently of clay. So therefore, what is it? Mithya. You cannot say it exists You cannot say it does not exist. It is squarely in between existence and non-existence. It is hanging between existence and non-existence. So therefore, it is, if it had a human mind, it would be subject to grief, definitely. I am a small pot, complex. Don't hold me like this, I will fall. Why do you think you are a small pot? Because this bada pot is there. Yes, and he can swallow me whole. I can disappear. I have no existence, nothing at all. So then, if that is the case, what should be done? Pot has to be taught. It has to be a taught pot. Okay? It has to be taught. But then what should it be taught? It has to have a pot guru or a pot bellied guru, whichever one. So the guru should come and say, you are not pot at all. So what am I? You are clay. No, clay is God. I am not clay. Clay is God. I am at best odd. Clay is all. I am small. Clay is cause. I am just because. This is what the pot could say. But the guru will have to tell it. You are not pot. The truth of you is clay. Where were you before you were born? I was clay. What were you before you were born? Clay. Even now you are clay. When you die, you go back to clay. It's clay all the way. What is pot? Nama, Rupa. A word and its meaning. The word pot immediately brings to light the meaning which is commonly shared between us. We all know the meaning of pot, and that's what we see when we, in the mind's eye, in the form of a thought, we see the pot. As soon as the word pot is uttered, all kind of ishta pots will come in the mind. Big pot, small pot, copper pot, clay pot, everything. And so, this is what is called mithya. Mithya doesn't mean non-existence. Mithya does not mean illusion, false. Mithya means dependent reality, that which cannot be categorically affirmed as self-existent and cannot be categorically dismissed as non-existent. This is the first definition of mithya. Then there is one more definition. And what is the other definition? Adhishthana ananyat. Mithya, indeclinable word. So, adhishthana ananyat is non-separate from the truth, from the source, from the is, from the sat. Ananyat, non-separate. Adhishthana means the basis for everything, the source of everything. Non-separate from sat. And yet cannot be categorically said to be existent or non-existent. These are the two definitions of mithya. Sat also has two definitions. One we have already seen in the Tattva Bodha. What is that one? Kalatrayepi tishtati yat sat. That which is unchanging in all three periods of time. To this, I will have you add one more definition. Abadhitam sat. Abadhitam, non-negatable. Is this negatable or not? Pot is negatable or not?
Yes.
Yes. If anybody said no, see me after class promptly. Pot is negatable. We have just negated it. It's just clay. Clay with a name and a form. Clay with a word and a meaning. A form which has a word and an understood meaning. Pot is negatable. And then if you analyze this, if you have understood this, you can analyze each and everything in this room. Why this room? Look at each and everything in this entire Jagat. Anything that you see is negatable. The whole Jagat is negatable, 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 negatable. Negatable means what? It does not have a leg to stand on. It can be dismissed in the light of this knowledge. It can be dismissed as dependent, as enjoying dependent existence. Negatively. Non-negatable Sat. Everything is negative. Except the one who negates. One who negates Sat, non-negative. Atma alone is Sat. That alone is, and everything that is here is negatable because we can negate the name and form. Everything in this Jagat, in a way, and this will be described in lot more detail when we get to the 16th verse, everything in the Jagat is negatable because there are two aspects to each and everything. One is the name and form, called what? It has a shape, it has a size, it has a weight, it has a volume, mass, color, anything. Or it has the attributes. The attributes cannot be hanging out by themselves. They have to rest in a substantive. And what is that substantive? Sat. So here it says Satyam, that therefore I say anything that is mithya is never far from its cause, its truth. We can say yatra yatra mithya tatra tatra sat. Wherever, or as we put it in Indian English, where there is mithya, where there is sat. Shall we try reversing it? Wherever there is Sat, there is Mithya? No. We just do it again in pot clay. Wherever there is pot, there must be what? Clay. Yatra yatra pot, tatra tatra clay. If you do it the other way around, yatra yatra clay, tatra tatra pot, clay can exist as a lump on the side of the road. Clay can exist as a Krishna figurine. Clay can exist in the form of a lid, another pot, a cup, a jar, a vessel. This is what it is. So it's all one way. As we saw yesterday, B is A is not B. Beggar, the truth of the beggar is what? Actor. Actor, never the beggar. Therefore, this verse is valid. Prajnavadam Shabhashase. Whereas the true Pandits, not the Pandit wannabe, that how you are behaving. You are behaving like someone who wants to be a Pandit but who is clearly not. But the real Pandits, the real persons of knowledge, do not grieve for that which comes and goes. Then, in the next verse, he talks about the battlefield and the battle and all the people assembled there. He gives a truth about the battlefield. What does he say? Natu eva aham jatu na asam. Jatu means at any times. Natu eva aham. It's not that you were or I was at any time non-existent. And then the ime, janadhipaha, and all these adhipaha, then Jananam Adipaha, Janadipaha, these stalwart kings, these exalted kings that you see in the battlefield, none of them, you cannot say they were not there, meaning they were there before. And then further, it is not that they will not be there in the future, even if they are killed in the battlefield now. Survey, it is not that, na chaiva, na bhavishyamah, the double negative, to emphasize this. It is not that we will all not be there. Then, ataf param means from now onwards. It's not that we were not there before, it is not that we will not be there in the future. Crazy making sentence. But it has to be understood in this way because there is an emphasis. The double negative is for emphasis and to remove the confusion. To remove any kind of confusion for the sake of emphasis. Lord Krishna begins with what is at hand. This is what a good teacher does. You give the example of whatever there is at hand. And what is at hand is all these people waiting to kill or waiting to be killed, as it might pan out in history. There are people with the bows and arrows taught, and here are people ready to throw some missile. Here are the horse infantry section of the battlefield. Cavalry, infantry, all of them are there. So the example that is taken is from the people right then and there. Who are these people? Famous kings. And what is the cause of your grief? Oh no, they will not be there, Krishna. Oh Krishna, I am the one killing them. Boo-hoo. I can't handle it. I just feel so bad, so guilty. I played in their laps. They are gurus, they are elders, grandfathers, uncles, cousins, nephews. Children, we are children. Children that played in my lap. These are the people I am confronting. And what did you say? You said killing them will give me Papa. But look at it from the standpoint of the Shastra. You are being very subjective. Pandits are not subjective. They are objective people. And look at it from the standpoint of the Shastra. There was never a time that you were not there. Oh, but I have a birthday. Oh, Arjuna said. And for that matter, you also have a birthday, Lord Krishna. We are going to celebrate it in August. You also have a birthday. You were born in the star called Rohini. We have your horoscope. We even have Rama's horoscope. And so what are you saying? That these people were there and I was there. There was never a time I was not there. What do you mean there was never a time I was not there? I was born, I know. My mom told me my birth date. And in fact, we celebrate your birthday also. What are you talking about? And then he is going to say later, that which is born is not the you that I am referring to. The you I am referring to here is Atma, Sattva. That which is born is the body, mind, sense complex, Karya, Karana, Sanghata. Karana, instruments, Karya, effect, body, mind, complex. That is what is born. That is what is born. That is what we celebrate when you say happy birthday. And sometimes, unfortunately, we say many happy returns. Don't say that in Vedanta. Never say many happy returns. That means you are wishing for them to come back in the next life. May your studies not be successful. Happy birthday, theek hai, I can live with that, no problem. You wish them to be healthy, happy, strong, and live a good life, engaged in knowledge and service, no problem. You celebrate also, no problem. But never say what? Many happy returns. No. Because you are telling, please always be a jiva and keep coming back. Who wants that? One time itself is enough. Okay. So, here he says that you are also there. Why? Because I am all knowing. I am Bhagavan. I know this. I can say, and I have the pramana here. I don't have to quote any Shastra, Arjuna. I have the pramana. It is Bhagavad Vachanam. It is my words, the words of Bhagavan Krishna. It is itself the pramana. I am the means of knowledge. This is all that you need. And what do I say? I know. And then 4th chapter he is going to say this again. I know that you were there. I know all your lives. You were never not there, meaning you were always there. As what? As Atma. You can take it in 2 ways. You can say as Jiva I was there. For the ones, if you say I was there as a Jiva, it means I have yet to gain this knowledge and I can take it on the face value because the Shastra is saying as a Jiva I was there. So the Jiva was born, the Jiva did a lot of things, the Jiva exhausted some karma, collected even more karma than was exhausted, and then it was what? Many happy returns, it came back, many sad returns, it came back again, this time dog, next time donkey, then what? Some punya fructified human being, but did not study Vedanta. For whatever reason, wasn't interested. Till dog buddhi continued, was very territorial and growled at everybody who came by. And somehow became a very big CEO of a company. And then what? Prayed to Bhagavan. I want a stress-free life. Next time, water buffalo. In the middle of the street. It will stay in the middle of the street and cause a big traffic jam. It will cause a lot of stress, but itself totally unstressed. Doing the cut happily right there, swishing a few flies with the tail, nothing to do, nowhere to go. Very nice. So this is how the person continues. That you can say the jiva continues. Or from the standpoint of Vedanta Shastra, you can say Atma continues and takes on various upadhis. New word we are introducing. And by an interesting synergy, we are going to encounter the same word tomorrow in the Tattva Bodha also. There will be a quiz tomorrow because I am defining it today. Upa Samipe Sthitva Sviyam Dharmam Adhadati Anyatra. Let me translate. That by its presence near something else lends its attributes as it were to that thing which is free of attributes is called upadhi. And the stock example is crystal. Not there. Where is it? Is there. Bring that. Big one. Yeah. Heavy one also. Pray for it. Okay? So this is a crystal. Alright? And then supposing I put this color. What color do you see? Orange. When I put yellow color, it will quote unquote become yellow. When I put white color, it becomes a brahmachari. When I put orange color, it has taken sannyasa, Kristalananda. That's what you have to say. But really, when you remove all colors, what is there? Free of all colors. So the orange color, the white color, the yellow color, etc. become the upadhis for the crystal. Upa Samipe Sthitva, staying near something. lends its attributes to that thing without really becoming that thing. That is upadhi. And so the upadhis, as though taken on by the Atma, will keep changing. In your last life, Arjuna, your name may not have been Arjuna. Your name may have been something else. Maybe you were in a female body. Maybe you were in a dog body, cat body. But you were never a nobody. And so whether you take it as Jiva, undergoing various births and taking on different upadhis, or whether you take it as Atma, as though taking on various upadhis, free from the attributes totally, either way you take it, you never come to an end. So what battle are you talking about? Please tell me. Because your head is a mass of confusion. You are mixed up about what is Atma, what is Anatma. So the body standing in the battlefield, what are they? Anatma. Because the Atma, which has as though associated with this body, is not subject to death, is not subject to change, is not subject to anything. So all these emperors that you see, that you are grieving over, they are not dying. The body may be dying. A particular iteration, the upadhi may be coming to an end. The upadhi is time bound, and since it lends its existence to the timeless Atma, you think the Atma is also what? Time bound. This is the mistake that you are making. So there was never a time you were not there. There was never a time I was not there. There was never a time any of these people that you see in the battlefield were not there. Then what? Famous verse. Dehinaha asmin yatha dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara. He gives a very nice example. A dehin means, what is a dehin? The one who is in the deha. Dehin. Dehin. The one who is the indweller of this body. The indweller of this body, Dehina, the indwellers of these bodies, Yatha Dehe, just as in the body, appear to undergo many changes in accordance with the body. Frequently in the conversation, one can say, when I was young, I did this. This is a photo of me when I was 2 years old. How can you say that? You can barely recognize yourself. It was before the memory memory kicked in. You don't remember the photo being taken. But still you can show me a photo and say, this is how I looked like when I was 2. That means what? There is a constancy. That time I was young. I was in the Kumara Avastha, boyhood, childhood. Then after that, what was I? Yauvana Avastha, youth. I was in youth. Gone are those days when I could eat anything and digest it. Gone are those days when I could stay up all night. Gone are those days. Who is saying? The one who is never gone. That is the one lamenting that everything is gone. So it's very interesting. Then the person, becomes old, needs a cane, becomes in the shape of a question mark. All the unasked questions in one's life. The person themselves comes in the shape of a question mark, all bent over. Who am I? Why Why me? All these questions are there. And then the person's voice is very shaky. When I was young, I had all these qualities. Still what? The same I. Just like the inhabitants of the body very easily assimilate and undergo all these changes without the loss of identity. Yes, nobody likes to grow old, fair enough, no problem with that. Nobody likes to lose the teeth, nobody likes to lose the hair. But still, even when those changes are taking place, you will say, I used to have a lot of hair. And so, this is done very, very easily. Seamlessly one goes from childhood to youth and from youth to middle age. Has a crisis or two, that's why it's called what? Midlife crisis. Crisis because you cry, that's what. Yeah. And then after that what? I'm old, I'm feeble, I'm weak, but the I is constant there. Even though the I appears to be shifting from childhood, youth to old age, in fact that's just a perception. It's the I that is constant, and the indweller of the body is the observer and the relator of all these changes. This is very well talked about, Arjuna. You have experienced this. This is not out of the ken of your experience. Then why is it so hard to assimilate? That in the same manner, dehantaram praptir bhavati. Why is it hard to assimilate? That just as you go from a child body to a young man, young woman's body, to an old man, old woman's body, you are living in these various bodies even in the span of 80 years, 90 years. Why is it so hard to assimilate that in the same manner you will be going from body to body to body to body? The one who knows this is Dhira. Dhihi Rati Dadati iti Dhira. Dhi means Buddhi, proper Buddhi. Not sawdust buddhi, sawdust build buddhi, no. Proper buddhi that is functioning properly. Properly means the one who is able to be 100% objective. Objective means the one who knows Satyam as Satyam and Mithya as Satyam. Yeah. Mithya is also Satyam. Mithya is not separate from Satyam. Satyam is Satyam. Mithya, not separate from Satyam. So one who knows the difference between Satyam and Mithya here is called Dhira. Why? Because there we had used up the word Pandita. Already the word Pandita was used up, so the Bhagavad Gita here uses the word Dhira. Rati means gives, shares. The one who has the buddhi, the wisdom enough to share with others. That is why it is called Dhira. Dhira tatra means in this context. Tatra, here, in this context. Which context? About the Atma as though taking on various upadhis. Upadhi, avachinna Atma, as it were. The Atma that is as though conditioned by many upadhis over lifespans. The Dhira, the one who is wise, is not deluded by this. Na muhyati is never deluded. Muh, to be deluded. Is never deluded, is never ignorant of this fact. And what is the fact? One Atma, one Sat, Ekam Sat, Advitiyam Sat, one Atma, Ekaha Atma. non-divisible, indivisible, non-dual, one. One Atma, many, many, many bodies, just like one gold, many, many, many ornaments, one lump of clay, and a whole world of earthenware. And in order to do research on clay, you don't have to examine each and every pot, and you don't have to get a PhD on this pot, that pot, every pot that you see. You just examine clay, and then all the pots, the whole pot world, the whole world of earthenware is known to you. In the same way, one thing you know, which is the I, the Atma, which is the basis for everything, which is the truth of everything. You as though know everything. Gold you know the nature of the ornaments, the shine of the gold belongs, the shine of the gold inheres in the ornament. The shine of the ornament belongs to the gold, not to the ornament. Like this, if you know gold, you don't have to do research on each and every ornament. If you know Atma, all questioning, all quests, all pursuits, everything comes to an end. In fact, the knower, the one who is the seeker itself comes to an end. That is something which is mangalam, which is very auspicious. Otherwise, what's the joy in keeping on seeking? You can become famous, you can become a famous researcher, but that's about it. And the area of research gets more and more specialized. There was one person who was a devotee of Pujya Swamiji in America, and his name was Bhatnagar, and he studied bats. You know bats? Not bat and ball, but the things that hang upside down, bats. And in America, they don't know how to say Bhatnagar. They would call him Professor Batnagar. Whole life he studied bats. Bat, this bat, that bat, fox bat, and then fruit bat, and this bat, that bat. The more you do research into Anatma, you will never be able to conquer Anatma. Why? There is just so many upadhis, so many things, but it is endless. It's as though the infinitude of Bhagavan is just poured in the form of the Jagat. And so therefore, one becomes an infinite seeker. That is not a good thing. It is far better to be a seeker of the infinite. Then that means the quest is finite. The infinite being yourself, that can be pointed out, and the quest is complete. Mangalam, done, finished. The end of the seeker. Otherwise, if you go on going, seeking, one life gone, seeking, next life, no fun at all. Therefore, Arjuna is told, Tadha Dehantara Praptihi. Another body is taken by these very people that you are grieving. Duryodhana, you are sad, even though he is a madman, still you are sad. He is a tyrant, but you are sad. Dushasana, Duryodhana, and all these other deluded people, Drona, who should have been on your side, and on the side of the Pandavas, Bhishma, Dhritarashtra, all these people who are so deluded, you are crying for all of them. Yes, when they come back in the next life, you may not recognize them. But please know, Arjuna, that they are not gone. They were never not gone. They will never be gone. They are always there in one form or the other. Atma is there. Many bodies, one Atma. Many iterations, many shapes, many names, many forms, one Atma. That is what the I is. And it's as though Lord Krishna is saying, the I in you is the I in me, is the I in he, is the I in she, is the I in everything. And this one I has to be known. Half the battle is won because the I happens to be self-evident I. The I is partially known. I know I am, but don't ask me any more questions. Who are you? Don't ask. The answer that will come is what? Donkey. Because that's what I was called when I was a child. Somebody can say. So that's why there is a mistake. Because a partially known entity is the cause of mistake. A fully known vastu cannot lend itself to a mistake. A totally unknown thing also cannot cause problems. An unknown rope does not become the cause for the projection of a snake. Because the rope is unknown, unseen. A known rope is also not the cause of fear, because it is known as rope. Yathartha jnanam has taken place. But then this half-known rope, you see something, it looks shady, it looks to have 3 bends, and that's when the imagination works very hard and projects the feared snake. And what is Atma-jnanam? Atma-jnanam is removal of these projections through the teaching prakriya called na iti, na iti, na iti. That's why all these negatives, ashocyanam, ashocasvam, natvevaham jatu na asam. There was never a time they were not there. There will never be a time they will not be there. All these things. It is to remove the ignorance based on the swarupa of the Atma. The Shruti Pramana cannot establish the Atma. Why? Because it is self-evident. I already know I am. The Shruti doesn't need to tell me, hey you exist. That's not the job of the Shruti. The job of the Shruti is to remove the delusion connected to the nature of that existence, where it joins the body dharma and comes to the conclusion, I am finite, I am subject to old age, I am subject to disease, I am subject to death. All these have to be removed. Or we will see tomorrow. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnam Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.